Morning, everybody. It's 8:28, and I'm getting started a little bit early today because there is no economic data, with the exception of leading economic indicators, but they don't come until 10 o'clock. And consensus for that number is down 0.3%. So we have plenty of news today and a couple of big earnings numbers. Home Depot with a miss and poor guidance based on same store sales. The stock closed 362.35, got down as low as 347 this morning. Last is 354.87. That's down $7.48, and that is adding pretty heavily to the Dow futures. And so, what did they do with all this bad news? They increased the dividend. So there you go. Walmart, a couple of things. First of all, they had their earnings, which were a beat. The stock had closed about 171 and change. Currently, 175, up 464. But as you can see, Home Depot, seeing as it's price weighted in the Dow, Home Depot has twice as much effect to the downside as Walmart has to the upside. Also, Walmart announced that they're paying what looks like about $11.50 a share for Vzio. Vzio started to run up last week when they first made an announcement about it. And so today it's showing trading at 10.99, and that's up $1.43 or 15%. This stock was languishing around $8 before they made any overture, or before that overture became public. MDT, Medtronic, closed 84.42. They beat also, actually a real beat. And the stock got as high as 90. The last is 88.31. That's up 389 or 4.5%. And merger news. Oh, by the way, on Walmart buying Vzio, the fallout has hit Roku. Roku is, as you know, a platform for smart TVs. Vizio makes a full line of them. And so the merger there puts in doubt the ability of Roku to continue its growth. The stock has been all over the place, over the years. But the bottom line is it started out as a $20 stock and in 2017, and by 2021 it was 486, came back down a bit to 300, and then rallied to 490 in 2021, has since come all the way down. It's been hanging around 100 or so, trading range of basically 50 to 110. It has fallen from 95 to 68 in the last 2.5 days, since 2.5 trading days since Walmart made that announcement. Okay, and an actual merger, Capital One buying DFS, that's Discovery Financial Services. It's a $35 billion deal. And it's all stock. I think it's about 1.02 or 1.2 shares of COF for each share of Discovery. So what we have here is we have Capital One at 132, down 523. And we have Discovery 126, up 15 and a half. At the end of this deal, it will be the Capital One holders having 60% of the stock and 40% going to the Discovery Services. It will make, I think, possibly the biggest credit card issuing company. And there's a little one that I want to mention. There's no news on it specifically, but it really caught my eye in early morning trading, and that is meds. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It's spelled TRXADE Health Incorporated. So TRX Aid Health. Um, I'm not actually sure what this company does. Because the description is so amorphous that it really doesn't tell you anything, but it has to do with digitizing the prescription drug market to lower costs. I don't know that's on the drugstore level, just the pharmacy level, or the consumer level. But I will tell you that the stock closed at $4.59 on Friday. And this morning, it has been as high as 17 and as low as $8.23. And the last on it is 12, up $7.41, or just a scant 162%. Okay, so as far as the markets go, Dow futures down 142. Again, I mentioned that there's a big piece of that from Home Depot. Nasdaq down 85, and the S&P down about 18. As far as the futures go, grains are slightly higher, although by the end of the week, every week for the past 3 months, they've been lower and making new lows. Not new lifetime lows, but life of contract lows. Oil is down 61 cents after last week's move higher. I actually kind of like this. I'm thinking that we are going, if we break above these highs, which are right around 79 and a half, and close there, I don't see much stopping it before 88 to $90. So I'm kind of bullish there. We are fairly heavily involved in energy. We bought Devon last week. We own Pioneer. We own the transportation, the pipelines of uh, MPLX and ET Energy Transfer. So we're involved there. And another new recent low for nat gas, $1.60. Last is $1.65. That's down 2.7 cents. And I have no idea where that's going to stop, but I have to tell you, everybody is on one side of the boat there, on the short side. And frankly, everybody is never right. Um, Gold reversing last week's underperformance versus the silver. The silver was up almost 4%. The gold was down about 0.75%. But today it's reversed. We're up 15 and a half, right pretty much on the high in the gold, and the silver, which we sold on Friday, versus about $23.50 is now 23.16, down 30 cents, and it has been below 23 during the day today. Copper is basically unchanged. Cotton is a little lower. Coffee a little higher. Sugar a little lower. And the dollar is down about 22 cents, not overwhelming. Earlier, it was higher, but that was because the bonds were down. So rates up firm the dollar. The bonds, which are now trading at roughly 118 and an eighth, that's 118 and 4/32, are down three ticks, but they were 117.22, which is about three quarters of a point down on the day. So as that reversed, the dollar got weaker and went from the high of 104.29 down to this 103.96. Bitcoin is up. Ethereum is up. Currencies are up, obviously, versus the dollar. All right, folks. Also, after the close today, we have earnings from a couple of big names. Celanese, major chemical, CWK, which is Cushman Wakefield. That ought to give us an idea about non residential, about real estate. FANG, which is oil, International Flavors and Fragrances, IFF, one of the original Nifty 50. Also, Toll Brothers and Lazy Boy, Teledoc, and the big one, Palo Alto Networks, all after the close today. Have a good day. Be careful out there. And if you have the chance and you're involved in making decisions charting, I have one for you to look at. CRNT, I believe, is the symbol. Let me just make sure. Yep, CRNT. It's a classic looking chart, been consolidating. It's a little stock. It's only $2.85, but take a look at it anyway. All right, folks, I'll be back tonight.